Anywhere in the world you are watching this program, my name is Linda and I welcome you to Linda's TV show. If it is your first time and you like what you are seeing, kindly subscribe, put on your notification bell to all notifications. This will enable YouTube to recommend and suggest our videos to you. If you do not turn on your notification bell, you won't know when I upload a new video. Here, we react to all forms of video, especially what is happening in Nigeria and in Biafra land. I put a disclaimer that here in Linda's TV show, we do not promote misleading information, hate speech, violent or instigating war. I always seize every opportunity to appreciate YouTube for allowing us.
So, Obone Igbo, and you're listening to me now. Achomki Gemonti. Unu na yo na funa. Ihe me wana nwoke Nnamdi Kanu be ha kwado a long time ago. It's a plan. I don't really know a lot of people who were not expecting this to happen. I personally was expecting it to happen. But always something in the Igbo caveat to this. Naturally speaking, they have psychologically prepared us enough for it. But no matter how much anyone prepares you for something like this, barefaced, glaring injustice, given that we are in a country where terrorists who kill, and they don't just kill, they do sacrificial killing. They kill in the most horrific manner known to mankind. They just get taken to a place where they call rehabilitation center, where they basically just take care of them, give them VIP treatments, and then the next minute they call them repentant terrorists and are integrated into the Nigerian system. In a country that does this, a country that tolerates hardened terrorists, globally proscribed, having peace talks with government authorities, having press conferences, terrorists that disembowel pregnant women, take their children, the babies out of their wombs and then kill the babies, are pardoned without even a chastisement, nothing, just pardoned, integrated, all VIP. In a country that is like that, one would expect that it is absolutely impossible to sentence a man like Nnamdi Kanu for what he said in a broadcast. But we are living in a theater of the absurd. Nigeria is a quintessence of absurdities. But that's not even where I am going. Nene benaga. Ken Munti. Unu nayo na funa since kamwe Donald Trump mecha luta Nigeria for all their wickedness and crimes. Chupuna wenya ike owe designate Nigeria. That ever since then, when he went there, Izibwe watching there, all of them have been fighting, looking for how to say that it is the problem of Igbo people. No Igbo melo Trump juwe lota Nigeria. Etosi we lota Nigeria now. The same BBC that coined the propaganda terminology of Igbo Q was the first to fire the first shot by claiming that it was IPOB affiliated organizations that carried out the campaign to Donald Trump. Kewe man against those guys no kafa bidaga bubendi bai. Nka make the kwa make on a chiu walk on your Ebutekwa another one. Nka mekwa gonna be trend. Omukwa. Ebutekwa another one again now. That no some Biafra, we put some stupid document has now with it from 2021. Meanwhile, Trump had already designated Nigeria in 2020 before. Natural death. So basically, if you look at it, if you have no need Bihariak everywhere, now try to have we rope on the Igbo in Kebidaga before Donald Trump Polundia Milan there in Nigeria. He had put the plan. Had Chohoka Ndi Igbo di normal, di okay, di sane. Before Trump land there, because now Malugo Namwe Trump ga land in Nigeria within them. And all got fear of how we carry out their plans against Ndi Igbo. That is why Iha Melu Nnamdi Kanu Juwebia, to me, not as a surprise, but as a setup or distraction. Or set up. Actually, can the buy react here? Can the buy be do declare basita to munkan na Igbo ka we wiki bruising the befa uniform? We jeba sin go serious threat in that place. Then we serious and we can declare state of emergency na buy. We bulu their uniform repentant here one hand way. We unleash it on our people. Mgbe repentant terrorists bịazi na-abanye n'amị na-abanye na police ebe ka iche na ndị niile ahụ etinyegasị n'amị nọ. Ndị be anyị gekwanụ m ntị o. Since the Civil War of 1967 and 1970, anyị adịbekwa anywhere close to freedom as we are today. Not for once. Chineke na azagokwa ekpere anyị o. Not to hear your brother now, because I'm in a place where I should know. I have never come across an Igbo person. Maybe there are one or two exceptions, but it's hard. I've not come across an Igbo person that deep down in their soul does not wish and pray for Chineke na to zana our ekpere freedom ka anyị nwere onwe anyị. Onye Igbo ọbụla ifo nwere ala nne ya but this pain and this burden now bali everywhere. Mwana wasiki as your own brother no ni simiri maybe hesieme that na Chineke na zage belawa, not that no na cheese just zage already. Ndia we na chosi ke provoke I can you make something or ga ba me tupu nyemaka na chibia elu ayaka obuna hebuto sigondi ba nine. It was set up. So I told me with that video. Case I say a video to as many people as possible. One the buying in and I'm say who no bana dere no ju una ango na ungo na unko na bia. At the US Congress hearing on the designation of Nigeria, hearing now take place right now. A congressman, black man, literally was speaking about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to the hearing of the whole world media not there. The guy when they disgrace Nigeria with the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu even mentioned that the guy had to defend himself with sickness and everything. Yet, terrorists are walking around free, holding press conferences. Owanina Malugo, Nigeria is dancing naked. Completely naked in front of the whole world, and only Nigeria seems not to know that it is naked. Happen on Nigeria, okay? Happen on Nigeria. Una dabakwana na trap in the Nigeria. Dono muna kananti, jidono muna aka. Una wakwana anwa. Overreact to heneme one nine woke because decision on our brother. Mpotia Adiko decided, I will not speak more than that. Una wana we baye na trap mpakara ndi ukwe nsua. Because I daba na trap fa more deaths for us. Don't worry yourself about Mazi. Lotana Mbwagia today, 19 woke ya puta. And it will happen soon.
And I'm asking, why shouldn't it be peaceful? Why must everything be violent? An elder statesman asked me a very interesting question earlier today, and he said to me, Joe, he called me philosopher. I said, you're a philosopher. Can you explain why what happened to Nigerians that all of a sudden we have become disconnected and detached from reality? We no longer recognize truth. And he meant it when he was asking me, and this is true. And I told him simply, it's because the forces of darkness, the colonial powers, have waged a sustained psychological warfare on Nigerians for so many years, and it's now beginning to bear fruit. People now suffer from what we call in intelligence research altered state of consciousness. Their altered state of consciousness is what is beginning to happen to make them disconnect completely from reality. They see the truth, and the truth doesn't look like truth to them. They see something that would naturally elicit a reaction of awe and fear and panic and shock, and they're just indifferent about it. That's what happens when someone is under a mind control. They've mind controlled people into stupidity, into what we call Stockholm Syndrome. You already know what Stockholm Syndrome is. That's what they have done. This is why people no longer believe in reality, because if you believe in reality, you will understand that there is absolutely no unity between the three biggest tribes in Nigeria, the Igbo, the Hausa, the Yoruba. There's no unity, and there is not going to be unity in the foreseeable future. So why do you want to keep pandering this whole idea of united what? That's why the man was saying that people have now become so terribly disconnected from reality, from the truth. How do you see Igbo man uniting with the Yoruba man with what the colonial powers have planted in Nigeria and the decades-old psychological warfare that has inflicted so much wound in the soul that can never be healed again, just so that the division remains permanent, and so that they can now tap into that division and use it to continually divide and engage us in all these incendiary animosities while they are stealing us dry. That's why some people say Africans are not very mature. Sometimes, not all of us, and some of us. How do you allow someone else use you the way the colonials use us? Rather than come together and fight for our common purpose, we are becoming tools in their hands, puppets being used by them. And we know it, yet we surrender to be used. Today, the Yoruba man is even scared of his own shadows because of what Tinubu has done. Yorubanized his entire administration. I have never, since I've been alive, seen any president that has been this nepotistic. Just look at the hires. Look at all the people. Look at all the appointments. So he's afraid of his own shadows. What he has done makes him very uncomfortable. So he feels that the moment he leaves power, if it happens prematurely or if he doesn't get a second term in office, that the Yoruba nation will be left very vulnerable. And anybody can take advantage of power and mess them up. And look at the North. Just because they were seen to be tilting towards Russia, following the footsteps of their brothers in the Sahel, the colonials immediately panicked, infuriated by that, moved the power structure that the Northerners have always had since we've been alive, and relocated it to the West and handed it over to Tinubu. And so the power structure, the colonial power structure now that used to be in the North is now in the West. And the Northerners have vowed, because of what they have seen in just a few years into Tinubu's presidency, they have vowed, come rain, come shine, we will not allow Tinubu to come back. And it's not even a joke. They are open. When I first spoke about it, it was just maybe one or two talking about it. Now there are so many of them talking about it openly. They're preparing for war. And everybody walks around as if all is well. And talk about the Igbo man. He's been at the receiving end from day one. Ever since they challenged the idea of the concocted fake union, the forced marriage, and went to war with Nigeria, the colonials have not forgiven them. And there's just been this unwritten code that no Igbo man is allowed to rule Nigeria. It's unwritten. If you like, be an Igbo man, win by a landslide, they must find a way. It has to either be Yoruba or Hausa. You rule in Nigeria. It's an unwritten code, except if that changes tomorrow. Everybody knows that. For those who haven't yet been disconnected from reality and the truth, they know it. Elder statesmen have spoken about it. They know. So, for the Igbo man, breaking up, signing the divorce papers, like tomorrow is the best thing for him. Forget all the nonsensical talks about, oh, Igbos are landlocked, oh, they are unfortunate. Give them freedom and see what happens within just 5 to 10 years. So, what I'm saying in effect is that the time is right. The Hausa man does not trust the Yoruba man, will never trust him again because of what I have seen so far. The Yoruba man does not trust the Hausa man, has always been at war with the Igbos. The Igbo man doesn't trust really anyone because they don't know who is who again. They just want to be on their own. So you can imagine that the Lugard experience that happened in 1914 has all but fallen apart, but we are still here deceiving ourselves, pretending that the union is still active, it's still flourishing. There is nothing flourishing. What makes you a human is seeing the truth, seeing that something is white and calling it white. You see it is black, you call it black. In all honesty, search your conscience if you're watching this video. Can you openly tell anyone, your children or anybody close to you, that I can beat my chest that Nigeria is united and we are one? Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo, we are one. So why, if you are not one, why do you keep promoting the idea of one Nigerianism when you know that that whole idea was a commercial decision? It was an economic decision that was made to further the economic exploitation of the colonial powers. Nigeria was created as a corporation, not as a country. A company, not a country. That's why it was very necessary to forcefully amalgamate the union so that you will use the have-nots to exploit the haves and use the weakest to exploit the strongest. That's what is happening. And when you're doing that, you will make sure that you keep on fomenting divisive antics and all manner of animosities, that kind of expose the incompatibility between the unions. So they engage in this fight and bickering every day while you are busy stealing from them. And it's a permanent state of economic exploitation. So you don't ever recover from it. The only way you recover is when you wake up to this reality and break that union. You're not breaking the union because we hate ourselves. They created the hatred we have today. But if we are smart enough, we can do it in such a way that we break it, weaken them, and then decide on our own how we want to live together. That's why I am promoting and pushing for peaceful national divorce. Not because I hate anybody, but because I want us to destroy our enemy collectively by ourselves.
Hello, my wonderful people. As we have finished watching this interesting video, please, I want to see your comment, your contribution, your opinion in the comment section. Like I said earlier, let us do it constructively. Tell me what you think about this video that you have just watched, and also about the platform. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please remember to subscribe, put on your notification bell, share this video, and remain blessed.